Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Obviously, the World Economic Forum is at the centre these days of all sorts of far-right conspiracy theories, which suggest that the World Economic Forum rules the world. I don't believe that the World Economic Forum rules the world. I don't believe that there is a conspiracy here. In fact, it's simply capitalism. And capitalism operates by the governments of the world responding to the needs and interests and concerns and wishes of the ruling classes in the world. In other words, the multi-millionaires and billionaires. And places like the World Economic Forum, like Davos, are a place where those interests are effectively transferred. You have these meetings where effectively these billionaires who control the world, or who control the world's economy, say what they would like to happen, and politicians like yourself, largely speaking, take it on and try and implement it.
Ultimately, yeah, it would seem that the World Economic Forum has control of the world, really, because they have dominating power over a majority of the money in the world, right? And then when they say, hey, this is what you should do to the leaders of the world, majority of them are like, hey, let's see what we can do to make that happen, because we want to keep the money happy.
But some things that do fuel the conspiracy, I find people who come up to me and are, impacted by some of these far-right conspiracies. They say climate change couldn't be real because otherwise the governments and the elites of the world wouldn't be behaving in the way that they're doing. And I think the inaction of the world's leaders does lead to that conspiracy. So the fact that 1 in 10 attendees to the World Economic Forum flew in, a large portion of them on private jets, spewing out huge amount of carbon emissions, that fuels the idea that if climate change is real, as they say it is, and it is, then why are they behaving in this manner?
They behave in this manner quite simply because they can. Are you going to stop them? I know I can't stop them. He who has the gold makes the rules, right? And these people, they have so frickin' many billions of dollars that they're just like, I do what I want. Tell me no. Go ahead. See how good that works. But what's absolutely insane is that they have zero problem telling you and everyone else that you can't do that.
Welcome to your 15-minute city, the next phase of the dystopian globalist agenda, being marketed as more convenient and of course better for the environment. 15-minute cities are already being planned or even implemented in places such as Utrecht, Edmonton, Vancouver, Oxford, Paris, Buenos Aires, and of course Melbourne. And unless you're still in complete denial, it should be clear by now. Masks, health passports, central bank digital currencies, 15-minute cities, control, more control, more control, and of course more control.
That's what it is. It's control. These frickin' megalomaniacs at the top need to be in control of everybody else below them. And putting in these frickin' 15-minute cities, that's going to do it because everybody is in a tiny little space, and that's where they need to be. And they control everything within that little space, and you don't leave that little space. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm so glad you're here. Won't you hit that like button for me? I'd really appreciate it. If this is your kind of content, we've got a subscribe button too, and then you can come back tomorrow because I'm making a new episode every day.
Elon Musk says World Economic Forum is increasingly becoming an elected world government the people never asked for and don't want. Hear ye, hear ye. Who is they? Where are all these evil people that are trying to depopulate the world and run these agendas and hold these planned and scam dem? They are the they. Whoever is in that deal, led by that guy, Klaus Schwab, seems like a frickin' Bond villain. Meanwhile, we're working and paying taxes, blind of all this nonsense that they're pulling over there, only to find out sometime in the future when we're all shackled, this World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and that whole, I would almost want to say, cabal-ish type group is not for the population. It's not for the people. Their agendas are for their people.
I didn't realize I'd grabbed so many World Economic Forum clips for today, but let's run with it. It's absolutely true. They're for themselves. That's how, these frickin' rich elite people are. They're for themselves. How can they make themselves more powerful, more rich? Hey, let's make a club where it's only the super rich people that get to be here and talk about the super rich problems and how we can help the world to help themselves.
I'm sure by now you've heard Kamala Harris running around the country. Joy! We're going to bring back joy! Strength through joy! I want you to Google strength through joy.
Strength through joy is the slogan, so laugh and grow fit.
So full transparency, I have no idea if she's actually saying strength through joy. I know that she's using joy and don't let anybody take your joy, so it wouldn't surprise me if she has been using those words. And I do know that that is a very interesting connection that we're making here. I haven't watched much of her campaigning for the simple fact that she's promising things that she could have been doing all along. Honey, you're already in power, and you've done none of this stuff, yet you know it needs to be done? Hello?
It's all animation and games until one comes crashing down on your squad. Many crashed satellites have been reported the world over, and the one thing they all have in common is giant helium balloons attached to them. Of course, satellite technology is real. We get our weather information, communication equipment, and even some internet service from them. Look up Google Loon, for example. It's not that they wouldn't use the magical floating satellites if they could. It's that they don't physically exist, nor does the globe. They have been sending these up one at a time since it all began. I will allow them to explain it.
And he got a patent on that in 1950. And those early balloons were so large, they didn't have any way to launch them, except they actually launched them from aircraft carriers.
You all know where I stand on this. I am a globe propagandist, always have been, probably always will be, but we're going to listen to some arguments just because it's good to hear the other side of the table.
Hi, I'm Matt, and this is NASA Now.
NASA's been using balloons for science research for over 30 years. The exploration that can be done on balloons is continuing to grow. The standard balloon that I fly is about 660 feet long when it's made. So when it's inflated, it's over 400 feet tall by 440 feet wide. Think of a dome stadium. That's how big my balloon.
What I find interesting about this clip is that somebody who believes that there is flat Earth is using it as proof that that is what our satellites are. But it's not proof that that is what our satellites are. It's proof that they are used in this manner, but it doesn't prove that there's none out in space. It just says, yeah, we have them on balloons to do other things.
So let me get this straight. It is now public knowledge that they send up satellites on massive helium-filled balloons. As you should know, NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world, for obvious reasons. But the issue with society is that they never critically think. Just think for a second here. If these are sent up to provide the world with all of the important information we need, and I'm sure the entire process is expensive and difficult to accomplish, then please explain to me what in the flat world do these pathetic animations do for you? Do they make you happy inside? Are they so super duper cool that you cannot see past the obvious CGI? The fact of the matter is everything NASA sends up on a balloon simply hovers above our motionless Earth.
Geez, you don't need to get all hostile about it. Yeah, those are like computer animations because they're probably like an advertising campaign to get someone to invest in what they plan to make and what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. Personally, I don't find that as proof that the Earth is flat. I do find it as proof that NASA uses helium balloons to send up satellites to do other things in our atmosphere for why, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but globe.
Evidence proving fake space travel. Did that MF just disappear? Harness and hairspray. Drop screw doesn't float.
And
Blow up ball not affected by zero gravity.
And then we pull out stuff like this that definitely puts me back on the fence. It's interesting, right? I'm like, no, definitely. Oh, yeah, we absolutely went. And then I see this and I'm like, well, maybe.
Conspiracy theories that will change your perspective on life. The last one is the most shocking. The Big Bounce theory. It states that if the Big Bang occurred from nothing, then there will be no changing fact the next time the universe is created. This means that when our universe ends and another is created, it will be created in the exact same way with the exact same galaxies, planets, and species. If this is true, our entire universe is in an endless cycle of creating and destroying itself, and you will be born into every universe endlessly. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. Ancestry DNA and the rest of those ancestry websites are run by the government to have access to people's DNA across reference crimes, etc. The food we have been eating in the United States is a huge part of the mental illness going on today.
Dude, those were crazy. And the last one, definitely. And we've talked about this before, how the food industry is regulated by itself. So the people at the top get to decide what's going into your food and what's not. And they're deciding that we need to put stuff in the food that makes you want to eat more to keep their monies, right? So you just constantly keep eating, and what happens? People get obese, and that creates a lot of depression. So yeah, a lot of the food that we eat here in the United States is absolute crap, and it's designed that way.
one thing we do know about climate, there's a pretty odd old thing. We know that it was warmer on the globe in the Holocene period. We know it was warmer in the Roman period. We also know it was warmer in the medieval period. It was cooler in the mini ice age in the early 19th century. We also know there's been no significant change in climate over the last 6,000 years. And we also, do we not, know that most scientific organisations have confirmed there's been no significant statistical global warming in the last 15 years. And I have these figures in front of me. So what I would like to suggest, before everybody disappears to Durban, saving the world, as they travel first class in their airfares and they sip their martinis in expensive hotels, that I've got old age pensioners in Yorkshire on 98 quid a week. I would suggest, given this fiscal crisis that we have, it would be a nice gesture, particularly from you, Commissioner, who doesn't pay much income tax and is on a very good salary, would you like to offer to pick up to pay for your own trip?
Solid mic drop moment there, my guy. And that stuff is happening here in the United States as well. Politicians are sitting there arguing for more money for... I almost knocked over my coffee. Politicians are arguing for more money for themselves when we've got senior citizens living on a few $100s a month. That's right. There are some individuals living on Social Security that are over the age of 65 and are getting hundreds of dollars per month. Just a few hundreds of dollars per month. When they've worked their entire lives, a lot of senior citizens are continuing to work well into their older years because it's not possible to live off of Social Security here in the United States for a lot of people. So yeah, while these politicians are bickering back and forth about how much money they can send to Ukraine, the inside of their little frickin' bills is little pockets of, hey, this person gets a raise and we're going to send a raise over here and this politician's going to get more money because they don't frickin' have enough. But what are they doing for the people? What are they doing? Nothing. They're not doing anything. They're doing for themselves. And that's all it is. And it's absolutely disgusting. And I better stop here before I lose my brain. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. And it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.